And with that, the exit condition has been met, and everyone gradually begins to come out of the simulation. How does Stavias look as they finally wake up and return to reality?
Emaciated. Bad. Not good. Like, just kind of just in a daze a little bit, because it's just like coming back to from everything and not really looking like anything, almost looking blank.
Anima pulls you out of the pod and into a big old bear hug.
Stavias starts to cry.
I think Vi sees that for a second and then is like, okay, let's go to the med bay now. And is trying to, I guess, join the hug, but also shuffle them like slowly towards the elevator. Come on.
I picture that old Tumblr gif with the broom, and it was just like the broom petting somebody, and just like, come on.
White diamond at the end of Steven Universe Future.
Yeah.
Can I please pick up Stavias and princess carry them to the medbay?
100%.
Of course.
Okay, that's going to be a lot to work through, but the good news is I know plenty of things that will help get the process going of fixing your brain after the simulation tried to break it, and I know some amazing therapists. First things first, though, let's get your physical checkup done.
Vi just sort of gives a thumbs up as she's continually sort of
Nudging.
hovering, almost saying like, I don't know how to comfort you, but
I don't know how to help.
The therapist is like, believe it or not, I've seen this 1,000,000 times before. And I'm like, this exact thing? Yes.
How long do you think it takes Stavias to accept the fact that they are actually out of the simulation and what's going on around them is actually real?
I mean, like I said yesterday, this to me is very Mockingjay PETA just got hijacked type deal. So I feel like with how deep the simulation was in me and how I kind of completely got lost in it, I think it's going to be a long time before I'm 100% confident that I am in reality. Despite like nothing starting over, nothing's like that. I think there's just I think my brain's just a little broken after going through that.
As Tully begins running Stavias through the scans in the med bay that has been specifically designed and decorated to not look like a med bay because it's Tully, so of course it is. And she's yammering on the whole time about nothing of real consequence, but it is very pleasantly distracting. Spectra pulls Vi and Anima to the side to give Tully the space to work, and they head down. She guides you down the hall a little bit to have a private conversation. What can you tell me about what Stavias was going through? What did you see? What was happening?
I'm not sure exactly what Stavias wants us to reveal at this time. Let's just say the simulation was trying to manipulate them into killing someone that they deeply cared about.
So it was something built to break them, to hurt them.
Yeah.
Who would do something like that?
Someone who has a death wish?
It may take a long time for them to recover from this, but the important thing is they are safe. They are not having to go through this alone, and that we were able to get them out before the simulation could break them completely. It's not great, but they will be okay. Tully will be able to help them differentiate between reality and simulation, having experienced similar things herself, and I will do whatever it takes to ensure that they get whatever help they need. I'll also make sure that people who did this do not get away with it. Meanwhile, back in the med bay, how is Stavias looking?
I'm not crying anymore. And I think the first thing I say is that I need to make sure that he's okay.
Okay, how can we help with that?
Have I been contacting him through Spectra or through Miss Yellow?
You've been contacting them through written letters passed along by Miss Yellow this whole time. You don't really know the details of how it gets from point A to point B, but you know she has it set up so it's untraceable.
Miss Yellow will know what to do. She's been my contact. I haven't heard from him in a while.
Okay, we did tell her that you had been kidnapped, and then later found. It's been about 12 hours, I think. I don't know if that would help or not. But yeah, I don't know if the other people if the kidnappers got rid of your sim unit or whatever, but if they did, then we can definitely reach out to her for you, so that way.
Stavias dropped their sim unit in the fight. That's how you figured out who did the hit.
I was like, didn't we have
Sorry.
Stavias'
I
sim
don't-
unit?
Didn't remember. Okay, then, yeah, we'll get you your sim unit back, and that way you can contact her yourself. And...
Did you see everything?
We tried not to.
Yeah.
So you know about him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's fine. I think. To be honest, I don't really know what I'm feeling right now. I kind of don't trust anything right now.
Okay. That's understandable.
I have put Stavias down, but I am holding your wrist, and I'm like stroking your wrist with my thumb.
That's the reason why I left and why I'm not connected to my dad anymore. And he's hated me for it pretty much ever since. And I've been kind of just running from that, and I've never liked him. I didn't think he would do this. Will you guys help me kill him?
How do you want him dead?
I want to kill him.
Okay.
But it's not something that I can do alone. He's probably one of the most powerful people in all of Alliance space.
Nell chimes in. He is currently in the top 5. Also, I'm removing the record of his conversation for the time being.
Thank you, Nell.
As a note, I am not permanently deleting it. It will be recorded elsewhere.
If my dad's making moves, we should worry about the Lorendi.
As a... like the whole Imperium?
The talks.
Okay.
Because the
Definitely
whole
needs-
reason
Mhm.
that Fulminara was here was to, see if it even mattered. And if something happens to Fulminara, that could be bad. I don't know. I just feel like my dad's doing something, and I feel like Spectra should know that my dad's a piece on this board that I didn't even know was a board. And you can see I'm starting to unravel a little bit.
I think at that point Vi takes their other hand and is like, okay. I understand. We will let Spectra know. All I've said is that the simulation was to manipulate you to getting rid of someone very close to you. So let's let Spectra know, because since her mom's part of the talks herself, she will best know how to help this, as well as being a part of the Pirate Corps. She may have connections into that. Since they are more out of the official government base, your dad may not have as much power there. then we can work on a plan of destroying him. I don't know if you want to be a part of this, Anima, or not, but it may be harmful to keep on revenge, but also I understand how important it can be. So just let me know what you need, whether it's ideas or help with execution of that plan.
I just nod. I'm not able to be verbal right now.
That's okay.
I can't really relate to having a bad relationship with your parents, but I can relate to having something terrible done to you. So I'll help in whatever way you need me to.
I just kind of take my hands and I grab each of yours, and I just like squeeze really hard, and then I just breathe.
And feeling genuinely safe for the first time in what feels like lifetimes, I imagine you start to fall asleep.
Yeah, eventually. It takes me a hot minute. But yeah.
You have a dreamless sleep and you feel a little better afterwards, though you still have a long way to go to recover from the nightmare that you went through over and over and over again. But Talia is there when you wake up, and she continues to fuss over you, making sure you're eating and staying hydrated and that you are physically okay, because she knows that mentally okay will take a while. And eventually, she brings you something. She explains, I don't know how much you know about this, but when I was imprisoned at Beacon, I went through something kind of similar to what you just went through. It wasn't necessarily anywhere near as cruel and horrible and nightmarish as what you went through, but it was rough, and there are a few things that I was able to use afterwards to kind of help me figure out what's actual memory and what's simulation memory, because the whole thing of the simulation affects a different part of the brain than the actual memory. It's still a long process, but I have some things that'll help. I mean, few of these things I still have to use, though it is much better now. And I wanted to give one of them to you. I have multiple of these, and it won't fix everything, but it'll help. And she places this little device where you can reach it.
I say thank you, and I kind of take it immediately, and I assume I put it in my ear. That's how you're supposed to use it.
Picture something like a small speaker or a little white noise machine, something that's easily portable.
Oh, okay. I turn it on immediately.
As you press the button, it makes this noise that you don't quite hear, and the memories of simulation don't go away, but it's like the edges of them become a little softer. You have an easier time thinking about what really happened all those years ago. And while the nightmare versions are still there, those twisted memories are still there, they don't feel as real. And it's a little easier for you to differentiate between what happened in the simulation and what happened in real life. For context about what happened with Tali, you would have been familiar with what happened at Beacon Medical Institute. Basically, it was revealed that they were lying about a lot of the research that they were doing. Yes, Beacon did a lot of good things, but they were also studying mass scale mind control and other horrifying things that was exposed and dismantled. And you're starting to realize that Tali is connected to it. And she does talk a little bit about how she and her friends broke in to steal some information to cause some trouble, got caught, got plugged into nightmare simulations, and then she broke out and exposed them. Though not many people outside of the ship and those who broke in know that.
I'm sorry that happened. I guess I can't imagine a little bit.
I just want you to know that it'll get better, and you're not alone.
Thank you.
I don't know the details of what all you saw or what all happened, but I know it was bad, and you don't have to talk about it. You don't have to tell me anything. I don't expect you to, but you can if you want to. I'm here to listen. When you're ready, of course. Maybe I can help.
I know. Just not right now.
That's okay. Just take your time. I'll be around. Tali, as promised, doesn't push, but she makes sure to be around if you need anything, and anytime she is around, she's spouting off all sorts of facts about the little tricks and tips that she's picked up over the years to figure out if something is a simulation, like different colors that don't show up right, and weird effects that they haven't quite mastered, and the fact that the way cats interact, they just can't quite seem to crack making cats in simulations act like actual cats, and weird reflection things, and probably a bunch of other things that you don't quite follow, because sometimes she gets started to talking so fast that you just kind of tune it out. But you get the feeling she's trying to help.
I'm probably not supposed to tell you this, but I'm gonna kill my dad. And I don't want you to do anything directly, because I feel like that's, like, not something that you can do.
Tali says, yeah, we don't really condone the murder thing here, but trust me when I say he's going to pay for this. I promise you, he will pay for this. Time passes, and Tali starts encouraging you to go out and about and join the others in the mess hall, where you get a chance to talk to Spectra, who's happy to see you.
So, the love of my life is potentially in danger. He's the reason that I am the way I am right now. And I don't regret it at all. But I have this feeling, this really bad feeling, that he's in danger right now. And I just need to know that he's okay. He's Lorendi.
She had started typing up a message as you were talking, and her eyes widened quite a bit when you mentioned the Lorendi. And she says, that does narrow things down somewhat, while also making it slightly more complicated, but thankfully I have some unique contacts who can help. What all can you tell me about them that can help me find them? The more information I have, the quicker it will be. Whatever they're comfortable sharing.
I give Spectra the name of the planet that he's from, what I know about his family. We didn't get to talk too much about it. All of the not super personal things that we talked about, like, I don't go into, like, hopes and dreams and stuff, but, like, more like, this is who he is, this is who his family is, where the planet, where on the planet they might be. I go a little bit into the reason why he was here in the first place, in case that, like, matters. And then, for a split second, one of the, like, memories of him killing me flashes, and then I have to, like, steel myself, and then I keep going. And then I stop, after I, like, exhaust everything.
Spectra types up all of the information and double checks the message with you to make sure she didn't miss anything before sending it off to her mother, who's currently part of the negotiations with the Lorendi, through an encrypted channel that she has set up. It might take some time for her to find him through discreet means, but she's very good at what she does. She will find him. And the second she tells me anything, I will tell you. I promise. We will find him.
Yeah. Yes. And, like, you can just forget about the killing my dad thing.
Oh, I won't be forgetting about that, but I'm not overly worried about it right now. Just know I will remember that. As Spectra said, it does take some time, but after a day or so, she sends you a message letting you know that her mother was able to locate Fulminara. He's safe, his family is safe, and she's got some people keeping an eye on them until she can find a good way to potentially make contact, and she is doing so in a way that no one should be able to find the connection or find anything suspicious about what she's doing. Spectra doesn't share the details, but you don't really need to know those details. And she probably wouldn't tell you even if you asked. Meanwhile, you are still kind of living out of the medbay as your body continues to get used to not being plugged into the simulation. You're free to move around the ship as you wish. It's just Tali prefers you to sleep there so she can monitor if your body starts having any weird reactions to the panic and the nightmares to help you sleep and get rested. She brings you extra blankets and stuff to make sure you're comfortable and you're able to spend time in your room and get your things as you wish. And there's one day pretty early on when she comes into the room with this big duffel bag, and she looks at you conspiratorially and says, "Can you keep a secret?"
Yes?
She opens the bag and pulls out the fluffiest cat you have ever seen, who immediately starts snuggling up to you and purring.
Oh my god. Stavias is delighted and just, like, wraps arms around the cat. Not, like, too much, but just, like, breathes.
It just snuggles closer and starts purring harder.
Stavias immediately falls asleep with the cat snuggling on his chest. It's just like, it's relaxing, it's comfortable, it's purring, it's just out like a light.
So while Stavias is recovering and things are settling down to something resembling a version of normal, Vi, what are you up to?
I think I'll definitely check in on Anima, see how she's doing, because I know it affected everyone, and I'm sure Stavias is resting. Although I also probably was like checking in on Stavias occasionally, being like, if you need someone to just keep you company and not even talk, just let me know.
You see them asleep, snuggling a very fluffy cat.
It's just like, huh. Wonder how Nell got, how whoever that was convinced Nell. I'm guessing maybe Tali, because it's her med bay, but alright.
Nell says, "The presence of the cat is good for both crew morale and for pest control."
Okay. Alright. I have no arguments to that. Thank you. So yeah, I'm gonna go find Anima, make sure we're sort of by ourselves and be like, Anima, are you holding up okay? Or how are you feeling with this?
It's a tough question.
That is fair.
I'm sad for them. I hope that no matter what the closure is, we can help them find it.
Okay.
In whatever form that takes.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you'd be comfortable with helping with that, but no, I understand, and I agree. They should get closure.
I don't love it, but what is the net good in allowing their father to stay alive?
Well, it depends. If we were somehow able to destroy his business empire, I think. I'm not... If he's in the top 5 in the Alliance, he has to have some sort of massive enterprise going. So if we were to work on destroying that first, then even if he was kept alive, then that can minimize the damage. But in the end, that's up to Stavias, I believe, so... But I do agree that leaving him alone is not an option.
Those guards, way back, that were working for whomever. I forget who they were working for.
Oh, with Senfrith?
Guarding the blackmail vault.
Yeah,
Oh,
they were Lorendi.
Yeah, that base. Okay,
Mhm.
yeah.
They were just hired mercs or whatever, right? That whole shenanigan was not a part of
I
this.
think so. Let's see, we could maybe ask, I believe it was the Stellar Lance about it. I don't know if we have anyone who's connected with them right now, but they were looking...
You could ask Scorpia.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Scorpia is. I
Mhm.
forgot, yeah. We could ask Scorpia, see if she knows anything.
That was a group of mercenaries who just happened to be Lorendi, more than a group that could be said to represent the Lorendi Imperium. Because while the Imperium is actively in peace talks, there are still criminal groups and those who don't agree and just general troublemakers.
And as far as my knowledge, my whole thing didn't have anything to do with Lorendi or...
Nope, not in the slightest. I see where you're coming from, though, with the question.
So I doubt we can go into Lorendi space right now and try to help find Fulminara, so guess it may be best to try to get intel.
Now that Stavias is doing better whenever she isn't inundating them with fun facts and making sure that they have a person nearby in case they need help or someone to talk to, Tali has been glued to her computer, occasionally switching off with Lex as she digs into every single dark corner and secret that she can find of Stavroach's life, trying to pull out every shadow, every skeleton, anything that she can find. She's fixated on this. You know, she sometimes gets a little fixated on things, but you've never seen her like this. This is personal for her, and the only reason that she's taking breaks is because Ty is making her take breaks.
Yeah, that, from what she said, that makes sense.
Should we, check on her?
Let's go do that now. If she's on a break. Is she on a break now?
I believe she is finishing up a shift soon, though I am unsure when Ty will be coming to enforce this break time. Perhaps the two of you can help with that.
Okay. Then we go to Tali.
Tali's attention is focused on the screen in front of her as she is continuing to dig through information to the point that she doesn't really seem to register that either of you is standing there. You can tell she's been taking basic care of herself, like eating, drinking, sleeping, but you aren't sure when the last time that she actually took a brain break, and it is definitely starting to make her just a little twitchy.
I think Vi's gonna see if Anima is gonna start this, or if it'll be up to Vi.
I am going to walk up to Tali, link arms, and pull her to the anti-gravity chamber.
She tries to protest, saying that she still had a few minutes left on her shift.
I am not above picking you up.
Ugh, fine. You sound just like Ty. She is acting grumpy, but you can tell she realizes she does need an actual break, so she follows along, but you can tell her mind is still partially elsewhere, probably stuck in her work.
I do chuck her in the anti-gravity chamber.
Ah! She catches herself before she drifts into the wall, and you can see her starting to relax as she starts to float in the air, enjoying the weightlessness after the initial shock of being yeeted into the anti-gravity chamber.
Better?
Yeah, I'm starting to get a little wound up with all the digging
Yeah.
and skeleton hunting, and I know I still have more work to do, but I was starting to get so fixated that I was about to start getting sloppy, and we can't have that.
I don't think anyone does, but that is not an excuse to...
Let people know you're hacking into their systems.
well, I was going to say run yourself ragged, but yeah.
Both of those things are true, plus I want to make sure I have all the dirty secrets before I do my big reveal, and the best way to do that is to gather them without anyone knowing.
They should be completely unaware until it is far too late.
Exactly. I haven't done this kind of digging since I helped take down some of the supporters of Beacon, though apparently we missed some because it looks like one of the company's subsidiaries made some donations to Beacon clinics, and that kind of set me off a bit, but unfortunately it was all towards the more charitable and actually not sketchy side of what Beacon was doing, and so there's not much I can do with that, unfortunately, which is annoying. But I'll find something else.
Okay, I think at that point, like, speaking of Beacon, how are you holding up? I know you said that this sort of reminded you of when you were there, so we just wanted to check on you as well.
Not gonna lie, it's been a little rough, but I reached out to my therapist and she's helping me process things as it comes up.
Good.
Yeah, it's not something that ever really goes away, but I have the tools. I need to deal with things as it comes up, and I have my support system in place for when it gets to be too much. I'll be fine, and I've got work to do, which will help keep me busy, and I'll be able to help Stavias, but I am going to be doing the anti-gravity chamber thing more often because I might have been starting to spiral a little bit, and I need to also take care of myself. Work is a good outlet for things, but I do need other outlets, otherwise it becomes an unhealthy coping mechanism. Plus, I can use my experience to help Stavias start working through what they went through. It was a lot more intense than what I went through, but they don't have to go through it alone, and that is important. She kind of trails off after that and is just floating and occasionally pushing off of walls and just enjoying herself.
I'm satisfied with the day's work, with what she's doing now. She may not be fully resting, but she's not, like, laser focused.
Oh yeah, before you know it, you realize that she's actually fast asleep, just floating there.
In the chamber? I think I send a message to Ty.
Yeah.
just in case Nell hasn't already.
Yeah.
Be like, Tally's asleep in the anti-gravity chamber.
Yeah, you may want to check on Tally in a little bit. She's asleep in the anti-grav chamber.
He has already been informed and will be checking on her within the hour. She does this often. She will be fine. There is no need to worry. Tali does emerge about an hour or so later, and she gets right back to work, but she's a little bit less frenetic. She's back to her normal level of energetic fixation. And as you all gather for a meal in the mess hall, Spectra informs you that you will be arriving at the station in about a day or a day and a half. She took a bit of an indirect route to give Stavias some time to settle and for her to figure out exactly where they're at and if they're going to be ready for something new. Also to, hide that they were coming from Nova Station.
Oh, is that still next on the agenda? Okay.
I was gonna say, I'm assuming we filled in Stavias about that.
Yeah, you've had time to give them the details.
After a while.
Yeah, give them time to rest first.
Yeah. Wait a little bit.
You gradually inform Stavias of what you learned at the Nova Station outpost, how Anima and Dottie were actually hired by Nova Station, but the people who came to collect them for the job weren't actually Nova Station. Spectra explains a bit about how you were able to narrow down the location Anima last remembers working at before waking up in the Federation, and how Spectra has some friends keeping an eye on the station in case pirates decide to make a move on it, because it's kind of in the middle of nowhere and could be good to sell off, and there might already be a group that's kind of taken over it. But they are not actively there right now, and as far as anyone's been able to tell, they have not returned. Later that same day, Spectra hands you, Stavias, her tablet. It's over a meal, and she asks if you recognize the person in the picture. And in the picture you see Fulminara. He looks a little older than you remember him, but time has passed and there's no doubt in your mind that that's him. He seems unaware that this picture has been taken, but he looks healthy. He looks happy.
It's just a sigh of relief.
My mother was able to arrange for him to be part of the catering for the talks. She's the one who took this picture.
I don't really say anything. This kind of tension that I was holding in my body, I feel like everybody who's notices my entire body just kind of, like, unbuckle a little bit.
This is the first time you've seen Fulminara in years. And he looks happy. He's doing what he loved. He's cooking, he's working with food. He's safe. And now, you could very well have a more direct way of contacting him. After everything you've been through, even though the memories of the simulation are still there, you remember the truth, you remember all of the happy times. And for the first time in a very, very long time, you could have a way to have Fulminara back in your life in a way you never thought was possible.
I'm like wiping tears from my eyes before they fall, and I just say thank you. I say it like 1,000,000 times.
There is no need to thank me. You're part of my crew, and I take care of my crew. Once Mother finds a safe way of establishing contact without drawing attention, I will help set up a way for you to communicate with them. Until then, trust that they are safe. They are healthy. They are going to be protected. All you need to focus on now is resting and healing. They're going to be okay, and you're not going through this alone. Aboard the Opal Star is an Espergenesis 5e actual play podcast and DM'd and produced by Brianna Toiver as part of Pseudonym Social, a creative podcast network.
I'm Casey, and I'm playing Anima the Ashenforged.
Victor, I'm playing Farida the Promethean.
My name's Alexis, and I am playing Vilena Sorel, the Eldori.
Music is by Patrick Chester of Chester Studios. To see more of his work, visit his website at chesterstudios.net. Find out more about Pseudonym Social by visiting our website at pseudonymsocial.wordpress.com. If you like what we're doing and would like to support us, please consider leaving a review or donating to our Patreon at patreon.com/pseudonymsocial.